wanted to film this video to go over my acne history a little bit from the last 6 months, just because it's something I've been struggling with, and it's kind of the reason why I'm not taking any supplements. And I am wearing a lot of makeup right now just because I did have my makeup and my hair trial today. This is not the final look, but I just am putting that out there that my face does look better than it is just because I do have a lot of makeup on. And one of the reasons I even have a makeup artist for my wedding, which I wasn't gonna get because they are expensive, but it's because of my acne. However, my acne has gotten so much better over the last month or so, and so I'm just gonna go over that a little bit. So I actually was a Proactiv user. I was a Proactiv user for like 10 years, since I was like 18, and I actually used the Proactiv extra strength because I felt like it really did work, and it kept my skin wasn't perfect, but it was clear. I could go to the gym without makeup. Actually, over the last year, my skin just became the clearest it has ever been. I've always been a person that I would get maybe one pimple or maybe two whenever I did get pimples, but they were big pimples. But I didn't mind it just because it was always one or two max. The other thing is I'm almost 30 and I still was going through that, but again, because the rest of my skin was always clear, it didn't matter. But it wasn't until recently that I realized that adult acne is just not normal. I thought it was normal, but I came to realize it wasn't. And in December, because my skin had cleared up so much, but I was also tired of spending so much on Proactiv, I thought my diet had a lot to do with it too, and I thought if as long as I keep my diet on check, I can get a drugstore brand acne medication and maintain my clear skin. In December, kind of, I underwent like the start of like stress started, and it just got worse and worse over the next few months after that. Work, personal life, it just became really stressful. The wedding, got closer, so we started stressing out about that big time. And around the end of December, my acne started flaring up pretty badly, and I didn't think twice about it. I thought it was the stress at first. I then went on to January, and it just progressively, week after week, just got worse and worse. But I had heard that when you come off of Proactiv, that can happen. So I started doing research online, and I found a bunch of people's stories about the Proactiv purge, which is like you stop taking Proactiv and your skin is addicted to it, and then it just purges. And I thought, okay, this is what my skin is doing. But it just progressively got worse and worse and worse, to the point where nothing was working. I tried everything and nothing was working, and it was the thought of me going to my wedding day and having acne that badly was just something I wasn't willing to do, and I didn't know how I was gonna get through it. And it's one of those where stress causes acne, but then your acne stresses you out, and it's just an endless circle. Makeup wasn't doing it. It wasn't covering it up. It was so embarrassing. I was in my office praying people wouldn't come into my office because I didn't want them to see me. It started to affect me emotionally, and it just, I don't know. But anyways, the whole time I just kept thinking, okay, it could be this, it could be that. First I thought it was stress, then I thought it was Proactiv, and then I thought, okay, wait. I started increasing my intake of protein powder. I was taking pre-workouts, and then I started doing research on whey protein, and I realized, oh my gosh, I think this is what is causing my acne. So I completely cut it out. I cut out even my pre-workout. I went for about a month, and still my acne just kept getting worse. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna keep doing it. I didn't want to all of a sudden bring back supplements, because I thought I don't want to do anything that's gonna trigger it. I cut some dairy, but Dairy for me has never been a problem, and I started doing research on dairy. I cut dairy big time, but not completely. But again, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then came May, and the entire time I didn't go to the dermatologist because honestly, I did not know that my insurance covered it. And I had already done research and realized that it was going to be so expensive. And with the wedding, I just didn't want to. I just thought, no, I can't spend that much. But then I found out that my insurance actually covered my dermatologist, and so I ended up finally making an appointment with the dermatologist in May. And I did have like a $50 copay, but compared to what people pay without insurance, that was nothing. And so I finally saw a doctor, and the doctor gave me some prescriptions, and that was at the end of May. And it took a while for the prescriptions to get here and ship and everything. Two weeks into it, I started seeing a big difference. It's now been about a month, and my acne's still bad, but to compare to what it was, so much better. And I'm finally, like, a huge weight has lifted off my shoulders. I've also kind of figured out that I don't think it was the supplements. I do think getting off of Proactiv had something to do with it. It was like a withdrawal symptom, I think. I do feel like if I kept using Proactiv, I don't feel like my skin would go through it, but at the same time, I didn't want to go back on Proactiv because I did start doing research on Proactiv, and just there's so many negatives to it that I just don't think the positives outweigh it at this point. There's a lot of things that it makes your skin age so much quicker. It makes you sensitive to the sun, which actually I've learned that a lot of acne medications actually make you sensitive to the sun. But these were things that Proactiv I read through all of the Proactiv booklets and instructions and everything, and that wasn't something that I ever remember knowing. Even though I don't think supplements had anything to do with it, I am not back on supplements because I'm 3 weeks away from my wedding. I don't want to do anything that could potentially trigger an acne flare-up. And so after the wedding, I do plan to slowly incorporate supplements back into my diet. I'll probably start with whey protein and go into like BCAAs and pre-workout, and that's really all I would want to take in supplements anyway. But I would be slowly incorporating them and seeing if it does affect, and if it does, then I would stop it. I'm okay without supplements. I went about 4 years without supplements, and I honestly don't think that they're necessary, but I do enjoy them here and there. Sometimes I have a really hard time hitting my protein, so I think that's what I miss the most, is being able to have protein bars, protein shakes. So I'm gonna go through the things that my doctor has prescribed for me, but just to really emphasize, I went and saw a doctor who told me exactly, we went through my history, she took into consideration everything about me and prescribed these particular medications for me. So these are for me. Doesn't mean that they will work on everybody. And again, I've only been on them now for like about a month, and they have improved my acne, but I still don't know long term if it's gonna keep helping. I was really against taking a pill, definitely against taking Accutane. I told my doctor, she went through the science behind the medication she was prescribing and everything. We talked about everything, all the questions I had, and I'm still gonna stand by if anyone ever tries to prescribe Accutane to me, it's not gonna happen. But the medication that I'm on now, I did a lot of research on it. She explained a lot of the science, and I made the decision that it was okay for me to try it. I had my bachelorette weekend actually 2 weekends ago in Vegas, and I went with my friends, and that was the first time I showed my face to anybody besides my boyfriend. And I could tell that they were like taken back, and everyone said that they had never seen my skin that way. But at the same time, I don't know if they understood, because I kept telling them, you don't understand my skin 2 weeks ago, because I had only been on the medication for 2 weeks at that point. But 2 weeks earlier, it was so much worse. It was probably like 50% worse. And so I know my skin is really bad because they had that reaction even though my skin had improved, but at the same time they had never seen me, they never saw me the way I was, and they were just trying to be supportive and everything. But I mean, I have huge acne problems. So at this point, most of it is now scars. At least most of my face is flat. I do have some flare-ups right now, but nothing like what it used to be. Here's what the doctor prescribed me. She did prescribe me a pill. Again, I went home after I talked to her, and I was like, no way, I'm not gonna take a pill. But I did a lot of my own research too. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. So there's only so much I can really research myself, but talking to the doctor really helped. And so what she prescribed was Doxycycline hyclate, and it's a 150 milligram tablet. And so the way she prescribed this to me was that she had me on a full dose, so one pill a day, for 14 days, and then I would reduce the dose to 1/3 of a pill a day. So there's little slots in the pill, so it's actually really easy to cut. I'm past the 14 days. Actually, the 14 days were right before my bachelorette, so it was perfect. And then I am now on a third. Plenty of water. You have to drink plenty of water. The side effects have been, for me, that you got to do your own research on all the possible side effects. But actually, this is a malaria medication. Dehydration. You have to drink so much water, and I definitely have felt that. I drink so much water. I already drink a lot of water, but I drink so much more with this just because I am always thirsty. The one thing I've noticed is my lips. I have gone through so much of my chapstick because it just dries up my lips so much. It just dehydrates me so much. And so that's a big side effect. The other one is sensitivity to the sun. Again, I am on a third of the dosage now, but I still put on a bunch of sunblock. I wear glasses and I wear a hat now. And then the other thing is you cannot take this while you're pregnant or you plan to become pregnant. You have to stop it immediately if you do become pregnant. And that was something me and my doctor discussed because we had to talk about whether or not I was planning to have kids anytime soon. I'm not, so this was a good fit. For the morning, I take Aczone, and it's 7.5%. This is what it looks like. And you literally use a pea-sized amount and put it all over your face, and you're good to go for the rest of the day. And then for the nighttime, I am taking or putting on a Tetranoin cream. Yeah, I think that's how you say. So basically, this is for the nighttime. Again, a pea-sized amount because it really does dry you, or it could. I haven't seen a huge dryness effect, but I also moisturize. And this is a 0.05%. And so the pill was free through my insurance, or I don't know if it was the dermatologist, but the dermatologist ordered for me, got it shipped. A company called Gen RX to you. It was free. It was just free for all these pills. The Aczone, I don't know how you say it, but my doctor gave me a coupon, so this was $35, and then I just got another coupon for a refill for $15. So not too bad. This one, I actually had a different prescription for this, or for a different medication, and it was going to be like $200, and my insurance wouldn't cover it. And I was willing to pay it because I was desperate, but I called my doctor when the pharmacy told me it was going to be that much, and I asked them if they had a substitute for it, and that's when they gave me this one. And this one was, I think, like $35, $40, I want to say 30 something dollars. So much better. They said it was a good, like, it was the same thing. That's basically what I'm at. She did say that I could still use any acne wash that I have been using. I've been using the Neutrogena acne wash, which I like. Everything else that I would try, it would make it worse, but this is still the first thing that really didn't. So I still do wash my face with that every morning and every night. I take off my makeup really good at night, and then I wash my face with the Neutrogena, and then I put this on, or I put this on. I try to take my pill with food as much as possible, but I think you can take it with or without. I just heard that some people had side effects on that. What else do I want to say? I'm trying to drink plenty of water. I'm trying to clean up my diet even more than it already is. But I think at this point, I'm really happy with the results. I just hope they get better and better. I just don't think it was the supplements, and I'm really hoping I'm right. And after the wedding, I'm gonna start incorporating them more. I'm gonna try to record that, just to see the effects. I want to share my story just because I had never had acne this bad my entire life, and it's been really tough because it has affected me emotionally, but it's getting better, and I figured I can't be the only person going through this. Actually, the more I talk to friends about it who are in their late 20s, also maybe even in 30s, and I talk to them about it, and then they tell me how they went through it, and I'm like, I had no idea. Like, I didn't know that this was normal. I didn't know that it was normal to go to a dermatologist. I really didn't even want to tell people that I'm on acne medication because I felt like that's horrible. Like, it's so embarrassing. And then the more I talk about it, the more I find that a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I was on that medication, it worked for me, or it didn't work for me, and then I tried this. Like, and I'm like, what? Like, I had no idea. So I hope this helps somebody. I know that maybe for some people it could be something else causing it. From I basically has this cystic acne, is that what it's called? So it runs pretty much in my genes, and it's in my blood. She basically said it's in my blood. The only way to treat it is to get through it through your blood, which is why we need the medicine. And then on the surface, for the ones that have already developed, the creams. And so it's not food related basically, although when I do eat excessive amount of nuts or chocolate, I do see breakouts, but nothing insane like what I saw this time around. She did say the stress was definitely a big part of it. So I hope this helps somebody. And I'm going to be putting out more videos on my wedding prep because we're coming close to it, so please stay tuned.